Hello everyone, and thank you so much for purchasing my Gathered Wheat Bundle class. I hope you enjoy this class. One of the main purposes of this one is to make your own DSP. So many times, of course, we rely on the DSP to help us with our backgrounds. But I thought on this mini class, I just love this wheat and I love the splatter. I love splatter. So I thought with this class, we would just go ahead and do very simple cards using ink and paper. And I just thought that they came out fantastic. You should have received enough material to put together 2 of each card with the envelopes. So, I used the deckled rectangles, of which I'm loving, absolutely loving. They just give a little bit different texture to the card. So here's our first one, or one of them. I love this one because of the splatter and the Cajun craze. Very, very fall. Look at that cute heart. That's in the dies. And then this one, I love the way this one opens. One of my favorite ways to open a card because it's just different. Just like that. And I'll teach you how to do that little scoring right there. And then there's that envelope. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment. And we will start to create one of these beautiful cards. If by chance anything is missing out of your kit, please contact me and I'll get it in the mail immediately. All right, back in a minute. Okay, let's start with this wonderful card. I had so much fun with this set because of using the stamps so much. I don't need a rubber mat because we are working with the red rubber, so that's a lot of fun there, and we don't need any cushion underneath. Just a different way to stamp. Now, if you added on the linen thread, we're going to use it here. If you added on the 3D painted embossing folder, I'm going to add that in your kit. I'll do it for you because I don't know who has it or who doesn't. But if you've added anything in this class on the add-ons, I sure do appreciate it, and I appreciate you supporting my business. Okay, so let's talk about these deckled dies, these deckled rectangle dies. So on the front here, I used these 2 right here, okay? So if you're counting from the center, they would be 2 and 3, all right? And then on the inside, I used, if you're counting from the center, 1, 2, 3, I used 3 here, 4, 5, 6, and 6 here, okay? If you wanted to reproduce this card, you know, after you do the class. So those were the 2 that I used right here. I absolutely love these, and I really need to see how these fit with our rectangle stitch dies. You know, so I wonder if they nest. I'll have to check that out. Okay, so one of my biggest, I don't know, like end game with all of these classes that I do is to use every single stamp set and every single die, just to give you a feel of what it's like to use absolutely everything in the bundle. So with that being said, we use a lot of it here. I also cut these little pieces for you, and I craft right with you here on camera, okay? So like I have to cut these little things out so you have just enough material. Everything is in your envelope. I use that as a little pouch, and you can just work right out of that envelope. I think that helps a whole lot. Okay, so our base is So Saffron, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. The inside, again, are those 2 deckled dies layered on top, and we're going to do some stamping and die cutting. They look so cute, right? Isn't that pretty? Just a different way to do the inside of the card. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to cut this down to get that perfect arc in that thinking of you, and because it actually comes from this die right here. And we're going to do a little stamping on the front here with the deckled rectangle dies, okay, and a little cutting out there too. And this is Early Espresso, 5 1/4 by 4, and I've already run it through the embossing folder for you. But again, if you've purchased any of these products, I know you're going to use them. I use them a lot in my classes, so build up your supply. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp our envelope first. I have an Early Espresso spot. My Early Espresso is a little dried up, and before I'm going to get a new ink pad, I want to use, and I have a lot of spots, so I wanted to use my spots. before. I didn't want them to dry out. You know, you tend to get these in my paper pumpkin kits, and they just kind of just sit there. And I thought this is a great way to use them. So I'm going to go ahead and look at how beautiful that, oh, that's so big, right? And just pretty on it on the outside of an envelope. Let me go ahead and get a piece of scrap paper here, because I'm going to just use part of it. And we'll just ink this up again, and our envelope will be completed. I hope you guys are having a nice summer. I am having a blast. I have to tell you, I love being outside, and now that we're in August and I know it's coming to an end for me, I am really crazy about, like, I have an above the ground swimming pool. I'm crazy about getting in the thing because I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss anything more. Okay, now, now what we're going to do is take these two pieces. Now they're in your kit. I've already cut them for you. But again, when you duplicate this card, you might use, you might like the layout and use a completely different stamp set too. So be creative, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp these, and they're going to stamp off of this little piece. And this is So Saffron. What's so great about using dies to cut things out like this is that you have no measurement. Just cut the die out. And I want some of it to go, of course, off of the page, off of the piece of cardstock. Ooh, that could have come a little bit better, but that's okay. I will press a little harder. You can't go back over it. That's the one thing with the red rubber. You cannot go back over it. So I did not press hard enough too, sometimes being behind the camera. And I didn't want to rock it. So let's do this one just a little bit better. Let me just... Don't get in a hurry. You don't have to really push hard, but let the ink, see, let the ink absorb into the cardstock. That is seriously, I'm so sorry, bothering me, and I don't edit that much. I'm just going to get another piece here. Let me see here. Of So Saffron. And see, this is where, if you have it, then you can just cut it out, right? I'm going to get my deckled rectangle. I'm going to measure that to about 1 3/4. I'm going to cut a piece at 1 3/4, just like that. We're going to toss that. I can't even. Okay, and we're going to move this aside, and I'm going to bring the mini in, and we're going to fix my little mistake. Yeah, and this too, it's just like you're right here with me when I craft. If I'm not big on editing, because if it happens to me, it happens to you. And then sometimes if I make a mistake and I go back and you haven't made a mistake, it gives you time to catch up with maybe something that you didn't get done, you know, while I go ahead and fix my mistake, okay? So there's that. That quick. Love the little mini, right? See how fast you can just bring that in and go for it. All right, now let's do this again. I'm going to clean this stamp. Let me do that. Just like that, okay? I have my chamois over here with my, I use a chamois and the Stampin' Scrub together. I'll show you that in just a second. Let me get this inked and stamped. There we go. And here we go. Not a whole lot of pressure. Oh, sorry, I'm a little low there. There we go. But leaving it to soak into the cardstock, and we're beautiful, right? Look at that. That is gorgeous. Okay. Okay, so my chamois with the Stampin' Scrub. This is how I put that. Look at this chamois. It's a mess, right? But it works, and it goes. I even have put it in the dishwasher. Some people even put it in the washing machine. But I put it on my Stampin' Scrub because I wash here and I'm still drying here, And then sometimes I do need to use my Stampin' Mist, you know, to condition a stamp or something like that. But this works really well for me, and I just have it off to the right over here to clean everything while I'm working. So I just thought I'd show you that. Now you have this little piece here, and it's like 1 by 3.5. And we're going to go ahead and stamp Thinking of You. And it's in a perfect little arc. I love that. Isn't that fun? Just something a little different there. I like the font on it too because it's really line, you know, it has like lines, okay? I'm going to stamp this in the center here. Just like that. And now we're not going to worry about these tails right here, okay? I'm going to bring the mini in again. I use this a lot when I craft, especially when I do a class. Okay, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to place this right here. And the only thing you need to worry about is that Thinking of You. That's all. A little bit of tape. Don't worry that those are off. We're going to cut it. We are going to cut it. Just a different way to use this die. I use it the regular way on another card. Okay. And then just throw these pieces away. If you're using washi tape, take it easy when you pull it off so that you don't mar your piece. Okay, that's perfect. All right. Let me get my little pieces in the trash here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and let's take our snips. And this has these score lines right here. You can see them right there. And I'm just going to cut up on this score line. Just like that. And then just like this. Now, you have a choice. You can either leave it with the squared off ends, no problem. I'm going to round them just a little teeny bit with my snips. But you don't have to. It's fine just the way it is. I'm just going to take my little snips here and just come and round these corners. I mean, it is the teeniest little bit that I'm taking off. See? Just softens it, right? Look at one side to the other, where that is rounded and that's not. Okay, and I mean, there's like, here's my waist right here. That's crazy, right? That little teeny bit. Let's go ahead and round this off. And I mean, just the little corner. But honest, it just, you wouldn't think it makes that big of a difference, but seriously, it does. Okay, let's put that there. And let's move my trash. And let's go ahead and make a couple of bows. I have a piece left over here. You'll take your twine. I use the 10-second bow maker, but you can make your bows any way that you like. I did a double bow here. Thought it would look really cute. You could wrap it around as many times as you want. You could do double, triple, whatever you'd like. That's probably not enough to deal with at this point. Let me get some more out. I always have plenty of this. Plenty. And you know, you can use linen thread, twine, whatever you like. Linen thread is so beautiful. It just goes on things. Just about anything, really. If you have a question, it's like, I don't know what to add here. Add linen thread. This actually feels a little thicker. I don't know. It was in my linen thread bag, but we're good. But you will be using your linen thread. If you added it on. I wasn't sure from some of my other classes who had it and who didn't. So I just let it for this class be an add-on. But then I have my Rustic Harvest class going, and it's a definite because that's so cute, right? Oh, so wonderful. Because that's just a bigger class. Okay, now we have these two pieces right here of Cajun Craze, and they're already cut with the deckled rectangles. Again, isn't that fun to use those? Because you don't have to measure. You don't have to cut and measure. It's already done. Just die cut it. Now, if you wanted to, you could put some Cajun Craze splatter back around this. I didn't on this card because I splattered some of the other ones. And I didn't want it to get too repetitive for you guys. But of course, if you love splatter, like if I was to make this again, I would probably splatter these. The more splatter, the better, right? Okay, let's use some glue dots to put down our little bows on these little guys. Now, if your glue dots are too big, just roll them up, put it on the back. Get my tail down here. There we go. And I'm going to put it right here at the junction of all of that wheat, just like that. Let me get another one. I'm going to roll it up and put it on the back of this. Right there. Cute. And right at that junction where that wheat kind of comes out. Isn't that pretty? Okay. And we have our thinking of you. Let's go ahead and put our dimensionals on now, okay? Just so that we'll be ready after I get then everything cut. So always, like I say, use every bit of your dimensionals. This I'm just going to put 3 down the center. That's plenty to hold this on. And right here I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these. I want to show you. These triangles right here are great for something like this. Never ever throw not one piece of dimensional out. The only thing you should throw out is this little sheet here empty. Get that off of there. Okay. So that, see, those work really, really well on the back of this little banner, okay? And then these are done also. Let's move these to the side, okay? All right. Now, let's go ahead and bring our base in. And that's the inside. Let's go ahead and put this out here with some Tombow. A little extra because of the nooks and crannies. I always say it's like trying to glue down an English muffin. Well, that doesn't matter because this is not directional. Look at how pretty that early espresso and So Saffron look together. Very fall. And then when you add the Cajun Craze, it's like amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this aside, let that dry, and we're going to work on the inside of the card. So right here, again, we don't have to measure anything. That's fun. My heart is filled with gratitude. I'm going to stamp that. Just like that. Let's hope I can. I'm going to pull this down, okay? Let me just stamp right here. And I'm stamping to the top of this rectangle because then you'll have a little place to, there we go, to write your sentiment, okay? All right, now let's move this aside. And let's see. Okay, let's bring the mini in. Let's start to cut again, okay? So right here. Now, I've sent you a piece of Cajun Craze. This is long, okay? So this is like, what is it? 8.5 by 3/4 is what this is. And you're going to take this die, this entire die. It's so pretty. You're going to lay it right down here. I give you plenty of paper. And you don't have to worry about really lining anything up, just that it's on the paper. And cut it out. Okay. And just because it's so long, I'm going to run it back through, I think. Maybe not. Okay, we're good. I thought, well, okay, if it was still hooked, now it cut. It's good. It cut right in half. No big deal. Definitely did not need to run it back through a second time. So let me get that out. All right. Let me show this to you. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And let's just lift this. Hopefully, a lot of our little pieces will just stay behind. They're all loose. That cut really well. Look how pretty. Isn't that fun? Okay, let me clean my mess up because, you know, I got to use it some more. I have a little spatula. When I used to have a Cricut, I don't even have a Cricut. I can't do all the programming, guys, When I found Stampin' Up! So many years ago, I was so thrilled that I didn't have to program anything. It got to be, oh gosh, for me, you know, there's many people that are fantastic with things like that. I'm not. I'm just not. Now I'm going to use my 3 pieces right here. And these are about like, I think I sent you 1.5 by 2.5 inch pieces here. Okay. And where'd they go? 1, 2, 3. I knew I had 3 of them. Okay. So a lot of times Stampin' Up! Gives you multiples. So just like lay them down on here. And we're just going to cut these out. Yeah, so I was just so happy that I could do this, okay, and cut something out. It just got to be too much. All the programming and everything, I wasn't having fun. And, but that's me, you know. I've seen people though, wow, I've seen folks do some amazing things, you know, and I think that's wonderful. Now, I'm just going to put this, this is like Old Olive, Cajun Craze, and So Saffron, which are fantastic fall colors. And a So Saffron. So I need 3 sets of these, and that's why that I'm doing it the way I am. And here we go. And I'll put that there. And this little guy here. And I'll place these on here. Wonderful. And just cut them out again. So I have 3, yes, I need 3 sets of these little, I don't know what they are, shoots of wheat, I guess. I don't know what to call them, except for shoots of wheat. I don't know. They just look like the wheat tops to me, you know, without the stems, sticks or whatever. As you can tell, I'm not good with stuff like that. But I sure do like to craft it. So, how funny. So here we go. And then 1 more set. And see, even if you have a big machine or whatever machine you have to die cut, you know, you get all your sets all cut out, or you could cut 1 color at a time and just run them through 3 times. No big deal. Any way you want to do it is good. Okay. See, and then you have like, just throw it away, right? No stuff that, you know, hangs out because you're like, oh, I hate to throw that paper away. I'm like that. Yeah, a little pieces here, there, and everywhere. Oh, I think we're all like that, right? If we're crafters, I do believe we're all like that. Okay, I think we've got everything cut. Here we go. Bring this way. And I think I've got everything stamped, so that's wonderful. Let's go ahead and complete the inside of the card, because that's fun. So right here, I'm going to bring my silicone mat in. I use this especially when I'm gluing, because I will put enough glue here on this to come down here, okay? And then we're going to cut the ends off. That's why it's a little oversized. All right, so we're going to come here and get our Tombow. And yeah, if I'm off a little bit, I'm fine. I'm just going to put dots top and bottom. That's plenty. Just dot it. Now, I could have also used an adhesive sheet and put it on the back of the Cajun Craze and then just peeled it off and stuck it down. No big deal on that too, right? We could do that. All right, good enough. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to place this right here at the bottom. And don't worry about the glue, it dries clear. Just get it straight. That's why I love liquid glue. I'm not committed. There we go. I love it. Okay. Now I'm just going to take my snips, and I'm going to cut off each end. Just follow the little bit, you know, if it's a little crinkly around there, just follow that with your scissor with the deckled rectangle, just like that. And that looks so pretty. Let's get these out of the way. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to put this right up here. Let me move this aside. I want to put this up in here. But I want my three little guys right here. They're so pretty. I want the little wheat just popping up out of here, like almost like there's a little pocket on the top. And I want the So Saffron. I think I like the So Saffron in the middle. Now, you can use glue dots or Tombow on that, whichever you'd like. I'm going to go the easy route and do glue dots. Now, the thing about the glue dots, though, let me say this. No, I'm not. Let me back that up. The glue dots add thickness, and you're going to get a pooch here. I have a little pooch here, okay? I can feel it. All right? This time, I'm going to put the three of them together. That's what I wanted to do. I remembered when I was doing this card, I was like, oh, I want to do this a different way. I want to put these three together. Cajun Craze. So Saffron. Okay. So let's put just the Cajun Craze on top of the So Saffron. See, now there's no bulk. Okay. And let's just put this, I'll just put this one here on top of that. Just make a trio, okay? Then take your glue. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a glue dot. I'm not going to. I'm going to use the liquid glue, and because we have the top of the card, no big deal. And we're going to put this right back here just to stick out a little bit. Cute. Now I'm going to flip that over, add my Tombow, and here. That can be glued all the way down. I'm going to bring that little element in that we did. And now we're going to put this right up here. So cute. Isn't that fun for the inside of a card? You know, see, because the paper already gives it dimension right there. Okay, it already pooches it out a little bit, but it feels, you can feel it. This feels a lot less bulky than my other one that I did with the glue dots. Okay, let's bring our base in. Let's get this little guy right here to the inside of the card. Right here. These colors are so pretty. Whoop, sorry. Double out of frame there. I want this to be right in the center, of course. There we go. Just like that. All right. Let's go ahead and decorate the outside. Now, for this, because these are popped up with dimensionals, okay, it really doesn't matter if you use glue dots or not. But I'm just going to use my Tombow. So you just put Tombow on two of them. Doesn't matter which two. Get my little tool here. Put that down right there. I should use my Take Your Pick tool instead of this one. And then put this one on top of that one. Good. Let me switch tools. Okay, now let's bring this in, and let's put Cajun Craze on one end. Let's see, let's put this one on that one, and then I want Cajun Craze and green and that to go like that. Okay, you'll see what I'm saying. Two dots. One on top of the other. Bring the other one over. Just kind of fan them out, okay? So what I wanted here was Old Olive, So Saffron, Cajun Craze. Old Olive, So Saffron, Cajun Craze, okay? Because then they're going to get hooked to one of these, okay? And so it'll look like a total progression of the color from one to the other, okay? All right, let's go ahead and let me get these backs off. And let's start to assemble. And if you notice, I'm not putting these on right away, okay? Because this one's up higher, right here. Ooh, I'm out of frame. I'm sorry. This one's up higher, okay? And let me get the backs off there. And then this one, I missed one. This one is a little bit lower. But we still have, see how I have all of the layering here. I have So Saffron, Early Espresso, Cajun Craze, So Saffron, okay? I didn't put this all the way to the bottom. All right, now we want to go ahead and hook this in here, okay? But we don't want to come off of the card. Now here, I do believe I will use a glue dot. I think it's going to connect very well that way because I'm going to ask for it to connect to not the card base, but the back of my element here. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have my fingers there, and I'm going to just push. See, and that gives it the dimension that it needs, just like the same as this. Because, and then if you wanted to put a dimensional back there, you could. I'm not going to, but I just wanted to make sure that it was off of the edges of the card. Okay, one more. And here, this one we don't have to worry about at all. We're just going to put it right there and push. And that's wonderful. Now here's our little sentiment. Thank you. Nice little thank you card. Or I'm sorry, thinking of you. And right here, whoop, too far over there. Come over that way. Right there. You don't want it to impinge on your little creations there. Isn't that cute? Isn't that wonderful? How I can't believe just rounding those edges, those little tips made this really soften that. But I love the deckled rectangles. Look how pretty the inside of that card. You can write a little sentiment here, or you could come up here and write it. Like I said, the glue dries clear. It looks fantastic. Absolutely. So you should be able to put together two beautiful cards here. This is the beginning of our wonderful class today. All right, back in a minute and we'll get to the second one. Okay, let's move on to this wonderful card. And I was setting it up and I thought to myself, why, when I made this card, did I make this back here straight and make the measurement 5 1/4 by 4? So this card, it looks beautiful. And then this one in here is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. They're both So Saffron. But I thought, I have the deckled rectangles. Let's use them. So while we put this card together, we're going to use the deckled rectangles on this outside and this piece inside. And I think it's going to look great. Okay. First, what we need to do is our envelope. Isn't that cute? I love that. So let's get this out here. And let me get my scrap paper. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to come up the side here of this envelope with some Cajun Craze. So with this card, I'm going to use Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and Tuxedo Memento Black ink. We're going to do a little coloring with some blends, So Saffron, Crumb Cake, Pale Papaya, and Old Olive. I loved the addition of the Pale Papaya instead of pumpkin pie. Okay, look, the pumpkin pie is deep, okay, orange, and I liked the Pale Papaya in the wheat better than I did the pumpkin pie. Not to say that you couldn't do, if you had the pumpkin pie, you could use it, you know. Okay, so let's go ahead and splatter. I love this. So here, I'm just going to come up the side, and I'm not going to worry about anything. Just come right up the side there. No big deal. Now then, I'm going to take my wheat, like we used on the other card, and I'm going to take that in Old Olive. I'm going to ink that up really well. Look at my stamp there, that it's full of ink, and I'm going to place it right here. Oh, that's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? And you can put a return address out here and an address here, a stamp here. Beautiful. Just to go up the side is just a little something different, okay? Great, now we have that completed. All right, now what I want to do, I already have the vellum cut with the deckled dies. Let me see which one. I think I cut it with this one. No, okay, I used this one. Yes. Okay, so if we were looking, I took them out because I was like, how am I going to cut these? If we're looking, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's the 5th one from the, nope, it's the 6th one from the center, 3rd from the outside. Okay, that's what I cut this with. And now this one, we're going to use to cut the center, to cut the inside of the card. Okay, so 3rd from the outside, 6th up from the middle. And if you have these dies, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to send this card with them straight. Okay, so if you have these, you can cut them out. If you don't, then you could use them straight, which is fine. Or you might even use the rectangle, our other rectangle dies. Now this is the 2nd one in. So let's see, can I get the outside one? Ooh, I can. Okay, so this So Saffron is, this So Saffron is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I did the vellum. Okay, so that's wonderful. And then the inside one is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. All right, now like I said, you can use them just as I cut them for you, okay? Just like the picture of the card. But I just wanted to see what it might look like cut out, right? And I think it's going to look fantastic. So let's bring in the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. Let's do that. Just a little variation. And you might be like, well, it's easier if we just have it straight. But if you have these dies, let's use them. Because I know many of you added these to your order. So I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised to sit that on there and use it. I'm going to take it right to the top there. And I'm going to put a little washi tape. Oh, I missed that magnetic plate. Oh, I have mine. I'm going to try to epoxy it together. I'm not kidding. Oh, what am I missing here? I'm missing a plate. I feel it. That's funny. I looked over there. My number 2 plate was sitting on my desk where I keep this. I have it like on a little stand. It's actually what I have it on. This is so funny. It's an old TV stand. I keep this on. And then underneath it has like slots, and I keep a lot of paper in there. Just utilizing what we've got, right? I know a lot of you do that in your craft room, which is a great thing. Okay, let's see what we get. Take it easy taking that off, okay? Oh, yes, look at that. And okay, so see, I'm going to send you that piece and it cuts out just fine, which that makes a really cool frame, okay, if you want to keep that piece. So that makes a really cool frame. Okay, let's move that to the side. And now let's cut the other one. This one we won't have to take down because we're not all the way to the edges, right? And we're just going to roll this through. See, I use both my Stamp Cut and Emboss machines, the mini and the big one. I use them constantly. It's like there's not a day that goes by in my life that these machines are not used. So I promise, if you invest in them, you definitely will get your money's worth. Okay, you know what? While we're at it and we have this out here, let's go ahead and do a little cutting. I'll have to bring it back in though after I stamp my wheat and we color it, but that's okay. So a little 1x1 Cajun Craze. We're going to make a heart, and I love this part of what looks like wheat shoots. Also, we've got a Cajun Craze. We have a So Saffron and an Old Olive, just like we did on the other card, but just a different shape. And it's nice that we have 3 of these dies. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, and where's that piece? Here it is. You have a piece of old olive in there, and this is 4 by 1 3/4. And you're going to go ahead and cut this out. You know, we could stamp it first and then cut it out. That might be better. Okay, let's do that. We'll wait on that one. Okay, let's get our stamping on our wheat and that done, but we can cut these little guys out right here. So just roll this through. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, you know, the stamp might be a little off. So if we stamp it and then we cut, you know, line it up, that might be a little bit easier for all of us, right? So I'm just taking my little pieces apart here. Look at these little things. They almost look like bugs, right? Because of the things that stick out, but it's just wheat, right? Reminds me of, that's pretty cool. All right, now, here's another one. Here's our Cajun Craze one. I'm just popping out my little pieces on the other side here. There's that one. And our little heart. I love the heart. Really cute in Cajun Craze. And now one of these again in So Saffron. Absolutely. That's so pretty. So Saffron's a very gorgeous, soft fall color. I'm just going to scrape my pieces off over here with my Cricut spatula, right? That's all I use it for. That's so funny. I just can't do it. So all right, let's move this out of the way. There we go there. And let's see, where should we go from here together? Let me go ahead and stamp this, okay? And we're going to stamp this Thinking of You. And let's do that in Tuxedo Memento black ink so that it stands out really nice on that old olive piece. And that's in your kit. It's 1 3/4 by 4. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle. Okay, just like that. Perfect. Let's move this aside. Now, for the next thing that I'm going to stamp, I brought my Stamparatus in. If you have this positioning device, of course, you can put this on a block. I'm so afraid, it's a big stamp. And my piece here of paper is 3.5 by 3.5, but I'm going to send you guys a piece that's 4 by 4. Okay? And I like to prop a little stamp case under here. So let's do that to give me a nice solid push here. Okay? Let's move all this over so I show you. Okay, so it's a nice solid surface to push my ink on. And I'm going to use Tuxedo Memento black ink because we're going to color. You want to make sure you've got that all inked up. I'm going to close the door. Oh, I'm going to use my little, I had a viewer, a YouTube viewer, and she watches my Facebook too. And she sent me this and I love it. I don't know what it's called. Oh, that's perfect. I don't have to stamp that again. If it wasn't, well, I don't know. Maybe like right in here. Let me see if I can't just go over it a little. That made it a little bit darker. I think I'm good. Yeah. I don't want to add too much because then it gets like blurry. Okay. So I think that's perfect. So that really worked well with the Stamparatus. But of course, if you have a block, you can go ahead and mount that on a block. And like I said, this little piece is 3.5 by 3.5 and it fits it just perfectly. But just in case for you guys, I'll send you a piece that's 4 by 4 so you can stamp. Notice in the Stamparatus I have the black piece, the foam out because I'm on the red rubber. Okay, so there's that. And there's that. Let's do a little coloring now. Okay, so when I did this, I didn't really take pains at all worrying about the leaves or anything like that. I just wanted a variation of color in through here, okay? And then I did all of this in crumb cake. So I'm going to take my crumb cake right here and I'm going to take the dark one. And you really don't even see the rope after we put the banner through here, okay? So I'm just going to take this dark one and I'm just going to come down through here and not really care where I put it. You could put some on the rope too if you want to. So just like that. And I use the nib tip on that. Now this one I'm going to use the brush end. And I'm just going to come in here and color in the wheat stalks in my crumb cake. Just come up through here. Very simple, easy coloring. You can see how it shades itself with the blends. Really simple. Just come through here. I take my pains down here at the bottom, you know, and I kind of use the tip of the brush. And there is like a gnat, okay? Something's always going on in here. But I have to admit, I love the outside air. And so I don't turn the air conditioning on, especially if I'm going to swim, because then I get too cold. But I just don't turn the air conditioning on until later. So sometimes the little critters like to come in the house, right? Okay. Look at how cute this is. And then I'm just going to color this in. Just took some pains around the edges of it. Other than that, just go for it. And look at how nice it even shades itself, where we have the Tuxedo Memento black ink that's in there. Okay? And that looks wonderful. Just like so. Oh, so pretty. Okay. Now, first what I want to use these three colors. And I'm going to go through with my dark So Saffron with the nib tip. Almost this entire thing is going to get done with this little nib tip. And I'm just going to come in here and this takes just a few minutes. And I'm going to kind of color this wheat, leaving some blank so that I can come back with other colors, okay? And just don't worry about, just work your way around the entire little thing. Well, it's kind of a pretty big thing, actually. It's a pretty big stamp. So I want the nib tip of the, what is this? The dark So Saffron, okay? Out there on the tips of these guys. And then I'm going to vary color inside. Okay, see? See out here, all these tips out through here are going to be So Saffron. So color with me. Remember, I don't like to edit. I like to be right here with you. And we can just color together. And just come through here. Get some of these here on the edges. We don't have to be in a hurry. I like to color. One time, this was a long time ago, my upline sent me the wildest request, but I did it. She had a downline that was somewhere where a really bad flood was, and they lost everything. Stampin' Up! Was helping her get her supplies back. Of course, they always do that. But what she asked was, could we please stamp things in black, Tuxedo Memento black ink, so her and her daughter could sit and color. That it was very therapeutic because of how they felt with losing everything. And they just wanted to sit and color, but they had nothing. So I don't know what stamp set it was. I took one, it had tons of flowers, and I just stamped like 3 or 4 sheets full of this stamp and then sent it on. So I know a lot of us did, and they were very appreciative of it and had a lot of fun doing it. And, you know, thought, wow, look at how many people thought about us. Look at that. Isn't that, look, watch this thing come together, okay? Just watch how when I color, that this is just going to come together. So I use the dark. I'm going to use the dark pale papaya. Probably use all dark in here because of the Tuxedo Memento black ink. Now I'm going to make another kind of round of the, along with the gnat, of this, and I'm just going to start to add some dark pale papaya all through here. Okay, so where I did the outside in the yellow, now I'm coming up this way with more color. Okay, so I'm going to skip a little bit in here. I'm going to come here and just color these. And as you see, I swear, don't take pains with it because it's going to look fantastic when you get it done. The markers are going to do the work for you. The graphics on this part, look how cool this is coming, okay? Of the wheat is going to do it for you. Don't worry. Because I am not an artist. I'm a crafter, so I look for things to easily help me for my projects to look good. I'm just going to come in here a little bit. Okay, so there's that. Now let's come in with some light Old Olive. Light Old Olive, not the dark. Oh, I thought I said I was going to use dark the whole time, right? Ooh, so light Old Olive. And now I'm going to come in and start to fill in. And if it's too much green, I'm going to leave it, and then I'm going to come back with another color, you know, that we've already used. One of these, probably the So Saffron. So I'm just coming in here, adding some greenery, you know, to where, like, wheat is just not one color. The little wheat stalks, you know, some are more developed, I guess, than others. And I'm even going to come down here in the stem part a little bit. Get a little greenery going around there because that'll look really good on the bottom. Okay, now look how we're coming. Isn't that sweet? Okay. Now, I'm going to go in for the light pale papaya. I'm going for the light. Let's see about this. Oh yeah, let's put a little bit more pale papaya in here. In the light, let's just use everything. Use everything you have because that's what makes it just so pretty. Come out here. Oh, watch that, really. I mean, you can see how this is really mounting up. I'm about afraid to use the light So Saffron, that it's going to just be too light. So I'm going to go back to my dark because I do want it to be predominant with the yellow. Now, everything that's black and white right now, I'm going to come over and I'm coloring with my dark So Saffron. And you know, here's the thing. I'm not even caring if I touch any of the other colors. It's just going to add dimension. It's just going to add beauty to all of this. Because that's what the blends do. So I'm just coloring away. Let me come out here. Make this stalk pretty yellow. We used to have these markers that were called blendabilities, I think they were, but they squeaked. I forget really the full, I think that's what they were called, but they squeaked, and I loved to color because of the squeak. I wanted to make them squeak. Look at how absolutely gorgeous that came. This one came better than this one. I added more pale papaya in here to this one. This one came out better. So, you know, every time you do it, it's going to be different. But isn't that fun? Just color. Okay, let me get my markers out of the way. And now we're going to cut this out. And we're going to cut our banner out. Wonderful. Okay, let's bring the stamp cut and emboss machine back in. And let's put that here and this one here. And let me get my two dies. Put that right there. Wow, that wheat is just stunning. And it lines, of course, the die lines up perfectly. Just beautiful. Okay, now, the reason why then we stamped first is now we can center our sentiment. Get your of in there. See, I had it cut off. Okay, so get it where you really need it. The F should be top to bottom on that. Okay, I see that. And then get it in the middle. Center it. Use some washi tape. Okay, we're good. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. I had to look at my wheat to make sure I was okay. I believe we are good. All right, let's see how we come out. Oh, I love it. That came out so beautiful. So see why I stamped it first and then cut it out? That just makes it easier to line it up. You've got the time to get that completed. And this, wow. Look how gorgeous that came out. I love that. Amazing. Okay. Now then, let me pull this out of the way. And what else should we do now? Oh, we have to do this. Okay. Get a piece of paper. And now we're going to splatter. I love this. We're going to take our splatter in Cajun Craze. We're going to do the entire page because you can see through vellum, okay? So we're going to do the entire piece. Let it overlap. It doesn't matter with splatter. Splatter is fun. See, and you're going to see this through the vellum. So that's another cool effect. And just fill it up. Just like that. I love to make my own DSP. I have always, you know, a lot of times in classes, I use a lot of DSP. But when I saw this, I thought to myself, no, this is a great stamp set, a great bundle to make your own. Okay, let's go ahead and do our sentiment. My heart is filled with gratitude. And I guess I'm going to do that in Tuxedo Memento Black. Remember, we cut that down, okay? So it'll be a little smaller. And then we'll look at both cards, okay? And you can do, because you have two cards to do, let's stamp this on the left side at the top. Actually, no, because we cut it down, let's go right in the center. Just like that. Beautiful. But yeah, you might want to do one card, cut it out with your deckled rectangles, and another card with it just straight. You could do one of each also. I'm going to go ahead and put my paper back there again and get my little splatter here in Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to make the thing come right up there, just once, okay? Just once. And then we're going to take this wheat again in Old Olive, and we're going to stamp like off of the page, off of the piece of cardstock, I should say. Oh, I love it. I love that with the splatter behind it, right, guys? I knew you'd love that. Look at how cute that is. I love these dies, the rectangles. Really gives it a totally different look. Let's go ahead and put this in the center of the card, just like that. Oh, I'm very happy that we did that. Okay, so let's just look. There's the deckled, and then here's the straight. I could bend that back. Okay? Kind of cool. I'm glad you guys ordered it. I hope that you'll use it. I always look for different things for the inside of the card, you know. I've used the scalloped contour dies constantly to where I'm like, are these things going to wear out? I use them like a lot. But this just gives everything a different little look. And it's just fun, you know, because it looks distressed. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and already I'm going to pop this up here. Actually, no. What you're going to do is you're going to take your vellum now that's already cut. And, you know, you can tell which is the side down, okay? You can tell. And right here in the center, this is where I like to use my seal. I'm going to put 2 little stripes. And that's it, okay? Then we're going to take this and we're going to put this in the center of our other deckled rectangle. Right there. Now, you know, with vellum, you always have to hide the glue. You can see it right there. You can see it showing through. Very simple with this, right? We made something absolutely gorgeous. And even, you can see it. I can still see it out the sides, but we're going to hide that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and place this on here with dimensionals. So I'm going to go like 3 across the top. And 2 right down here. Get my little tool, pull these up. Okay. And now I'm going to center this on our card, front. Well, actually, this is the front layer, just like that. Okay, cute. All right, now here in the center, we want to use our 3 little shoots. And I think I'll do Cajun Craze, Old Olive, So Soft. No, I think I'll do that. Yeah, okay. So now I want to just put a little bit of Tombow here on the bottom. I want it to hang a little free. Okay. Right here. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring it down. Right about there. Put it over your rope, okay? Because you want it to show. I'm going to put the So Saffron in the middle. My other card's a little bit different. Just lining this up. You know, I lined them up a little bit different. I'm going to put this one here. You could use a glue dot too. Because it's not going to show. So it wouldn't matter if the glue dot showed. And then the Old Olive one out here. Okay, like it's just got extra shoots coming up out of that bundle of wheat. All right, now it looks like we have a total mess right in there, don't we? We're going to fix it right now. We're going to take this little guy here, and what we want to do is get these little triangles here on the edges. Let's go ahead and cut 2. Always use all your dimensionals. You hear me say that constantly. And I'm going to put one out here. Look, watch, it fits perfectly. And then the other one on the other side. Leave the center all alone. I put this one right here. Okay, so it's kind of on those outside tabs. See where the scoring is, and I believe that you can even score it and push it in and make it like smaller, but I needed the entire thing because see, I need to cover this right here. Watch how this is going to come together. You're going to love it. And I'm going to put this right here, and this banner makes the front of this card just like that. Isn't that cool? All right, now let's go ahead and let's tie a bow. We didn't tie our bow yet. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to make another double bow. Oh, here I have a piece. You're going to take your linen thread and just make a double bow. However, or you can make a single bow. You could make a triple bow. You could put 4 loops on it if you wanted to. Do whatever makes you happy is fine. Make sure that's tight. Good. Pull that off of there. Kind of bring these out a little bit. Now for this I am going to use a glue dot, but I'm going to put it on the front of the bow because I want to attach my heart. We'll actually use 2 glue dots going through this. So I'm going to put it on the front. And I'm going to take my heart and put it right over top. Isn't that cute? And then back here, you're going to put another one. Just like that. Okay? And then you're just going to take it and put it down in this corner. And it's just adorable. Oh, I love that. Really rustic, right? It's called, yeah, you know, it's just rustic in the sense of the word of being fall-like. So I really like that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put this on here. I love that we cut that out with the deckled rectangles, and I would totally suggest that. I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to go ahead and place some dimensionals. And that was nice that those two came off, right? All at one time. And two more down here. There we go. And here's our card. And did you see I tested it? And now we're going to place this right here. Oh my goodness. I love this card even better now. Awesome. Here it is, our second one. A beautiful envelope. I hope you're having fun with this class. I'm having fun. I always have fun in the craft room, right? We all do. We always have fun. So here is it cut straight at 5 1/4 by 4. And here is taking the deckled rectangles and cutting it out. And I really happen to like this version a little bit better. But whichever that you like, you can do. Or you could do one of each. All right, back in a minute, and we'll finish up with the last one. Okay, we're on to our last card. I hope you've had a lot of fun with your class. I know I have. And this is like, I love this opening on this card. It's just a flap. Very simple, but, you know, it's something different, and people just love it. And then I wrapped our linen thread around there. So that looks really cute. We're going to do some stamping and cutting out and putting things down, and our banner again looks so cute. And in here, now this time, instead of the So Saffron, I've used crushed curry. So that gives you another variation, and this is with Early Espresso. So now our base is Early Espresso 5 1/4 by 4, and that's this base right back here. And then we have a piece inside of basic white, and it's 5 1/4 by 4. And our little flap here is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, scored at 1/8. Scored at 1/8 right here. That's very, very important. Okay, let's move this to the side. And the deckled rectangles that I'm going to use are these two right here for the front. Of course, they'll be cut out for you, but you know, if you're duplicating. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3. It's 4 or 5 from the outside in, or 1, 2, 3. Actually, they're 4 or 5 either way. Yay! Finally, something that's simple. Okay, so then that will fill in here. Okay, and again, you can use any sizes that you'd like. I think you're going to get a lot of use out of these. And like I said, I know a lot of you have purchased them. Now, this will finish up using every single die. I'm really excited about that. So let's go ahead and do some stamping first, okay? So you'll have this piece of crushed curry. It's like 2 by 8 1/2. And you're going to go ahead and stamp this wheat right here. This long sprig of wheat. We're going to do 1 in crushed curry. Let me go ahead and get that. Just ink that up really well. And 1 in crushed curry. Nice. Isn't that pretty? Tone on tone. Really nice. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to do 1 in Old Olive. I always look to make sure that I've got things covered, you know, so I think I'm good. All right, so I'm going to bring this one here. And this is in Old Olive on the crushed curry. You know, because wheat has that deep golden look to it. Nice. Oh, look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Now then, we have this little teeny tiny like shoot of a little bit of wheat. And I'm going to do this in Old Olive. And I just need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Okay? Perfect. All right, now let's go ahead, and your piece won't be cut off like this. This was just a scrap that I had. And so yours will be like 1 3/4 by 4. And we're going to do our Thinking of You. And I'm going to do that in Early Espresso. I'm just going to open my spot here and get a little bit of brown in here. Whew, that's a little bit too much ink. We don't want that. Let me clean that well. There we go. I tapped a little bit too hard. Squished it. That's what I mean. Like these spots, they're full of ink. There we go. All right, now I'm just going to stamp this like we did on the other card right here in the middle. Good. And then we'll die cut this in a few minutes. Let me get that die out. I didn't have that one out. Okay. And I have this little one out, and I have that one out. And then these little sprigs right here, I'm just going to cut them out of Old Olive, and you'll have this piece. It's 2 by 2 in your card kit. And now this piece right here is what we want to work on. It'll be scored for you, okay? Let me make that note while I say that. Score for customer. Okay, so it will already be scored for you. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I wanted to make sure that you get the 1/8 of an inch, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and bring this in, and again, we're going to make some DSP. I've loved using the ink in this class. You know, sometimes we don't really use enough ink. I'm going to splatter with Early Espresso on this piece, all over it. So I'm just going to keep going with this. And I might have done it, like stamped it off, or I think I might have had my other pad out that is a little less juicy. Let's see. Early Espresso. Let's get the whole thing out here. It looks like it should be juicy, but it's really a little bit drier than what I like. So there we go. Okay. So here we go. We'll just go ahead and fill it up with our Early Espresso all over. Make sure it's filled in. Make sure you fill the entire sheet in. I think my other one that I did, I wasn't sure if I wanted to fill it in all the way, but then after I finished, I was like, oh, I really should have filled it in all the way. Okay, so there's that. And now we're going to bring our wheat back in. And we're going to bring in, let me go ahead and close some of this before I make a disaster, right? That's funny. Crushed curry. Let's go ahead and bring our wheat all over this page, like on angles, okay? Just like that. Oh, wow, isn't that awesome? I love that. This one's going to be a little bit deeper. I got a little bit chicken with the ink. On the other one, I'm always afraid. I'm like, am I doing too much? What am I doing? So I start out easy, but then when I look at it, I'm like, no, you could have went for it, you know. Shoot the moon with the ink. So I'm going to come right here in the center. Yeah, that's nice. And we're just making our own pattern. And you can do it any way that you want. I'm going to come over here and get it there. And then here and up here. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's perfect. Okay. Now what we want to do is go ahead and fold this. Okay. And let's go ahead and get a bone folder and work this in this way. Just like that, okay? That's on that 1/8 of an inch. Now this is then going to be on here. And this is what gives us our nice layer. Having that little lip there gives us that nice layer of white, and then onto the early espresso that then makes that splatter look even better. Okay? All right, now, so we want to go ahead and stamp on this piece of basic white. And I'm going to go ahead and get my splatter. And I'm going to do that in early espresso, and I'm going to do 2 of them. So like 1 here and 1 here. Okay? Then I'm going to take my wheat in my crushed curry. Really get that inked up. Take a peek, it's nice and shiny. And I'm going to put this right in the center. Just a different way to do a sentiment. And I wanted to show with, oh, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, honest to goodness, this could be the outside of a card. Just with this, a little sentiment, top or bottom, and you're done, right? Really, really cute, huh? I love that. It's just plain and simple and pretty. Okay, so now that can go, now, okay, here's the part. Immediately, I would want to do this. Put that on there, but you shouldn't, okay? You have to go ahead and attach your flap first, okay? So let's go ahead and put a little bit of, you could use seal, whatever you want to do. I'm going to put my liquid glue just right there. And I'm going to bring this here. Put that right over the top. I'm going to look at either side. Give me equal, the best I can, right? Equal on either side. You might want to open this up. Push it in there. That looks good. Just like that, okay? So that's your flap. That's the fun part of this card. Oh, wait. I got so excited about this, I forgot to stamp the sentiment. Now, this time I am going to use the spot because I want it to be dark. Because I think that ink pad is a little bit lighter, or not so much lighter, but a little bit drier than what this is. And I'm going to ink that up nicely. Simply thankful for all you do. That's beautiful. Okay, we'll go right here in the center of our element that we made. Just like that. Oh, that came out great. I was so worried just then. I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to like trash the video and start from scratch. That came out fantastic. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. Okay, all right. Huh. Now, we're past the hard part, right? Okay, no, well, actually, no, because the other hard part is wrapping this stuff around here 3 times and tying a bow without getting just completely messed up, okay? So I just really unwind a bunch, and I just start with a big tail there, and I just wrap. And seriously, guys, sometimes I have to wrap it a few times. You know, it is what it is. But for the most part, let's hope for the best, right? But you know the way it goes when you're doing stuff like this, especially on camera. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it under so that when I tie my bow, it kind of picks up all of this right here, all this thread. There we go. Right out here. See how that did it? Right there? Okay. Now, I don't want to get it too tight, but we can't have it too loose either, right? So let's make sure before we tie that we're happy. I think we're good. I think we're just going to be really happy with that. Okay. So we're going to tie a bow, just like that. Ooh, that came out nice. Oh. Let me get this little guy up here. Make a bigger loop. About the same. Okay. Now I like to like untangle these guys. See, I don't like it when it's tangled up in there. I use my little tool and I just untangle. Just like that. Just kind of manipulate one over the other. I don't worry about what the other side looks like, because you just about can't, you know. So I'm going to come over here and separate. It's actually this third one needs to be on the bottom, right? And then that one in the center. And I just use my little tool and really manipulate it where I need it to be. Get that out. Nope, it's wrong. It's really not that hard. As I'm telling you, right? Here we go. Okay. And yes, I'm working a little bit upside down, but then it'll come the other way. All right, now we want this to go to the top. Okay, now that I have all of that disaster worked out. But we want to scooch it up to the top. Just take your finger and you can put those back out. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Now we're going to give this a little chop. Get that going this way, and I'm good with them kind of being long. There we go. Okay, nice. All right, now what we need to do is our die cutting. Okay, let's move this aside. And actually, though, we can mount this onto our card. Let's do that, okay? Oh, we didn't even stamp our envelope yet. We have to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and mount this on. So see now where this is on the back, and now you have your flap, you have the inside and everything, and we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to make sure I put glue up there on the top. And come around because we're at, you know, we've got that flap going on the front. Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, leave a nice border around. Isn't that pretty? I love early espresso. Scooch that over just a hair. Okay, there we go. And that's adorable. That's really cool. Okay, now we have our deckled rectangles here, and I'm just going to layer these together. Just like that. We don't do any stamping on this. This is like a background piece. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back, 5 of them. Good deal. And we're going to take this now and add it to the front of our card. And you want to leave a little bit showing on the bottom. You want, like, you know, you want to see everything around it. So, you know, nice layer right there. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, I love that already. All right, now we have everything stamped. So let me go ahead and now really close these. Okay. And then we'll bring in the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, get things cut, and decorate. I love to decorate. Oh no, what am I doing? I have an envelope. Hold up. I just need my early espresso. That's all. And I want that little one right there. And my envelope. Let me clean my little stamp here. Just like that. And I'm going to stamp it big right here on the front. This is so pretty. Oh, I love that. Just in early espresso. It's just gorgeous. And here, what a nice little fall bundle, right? You know, I've got my other class going on too, the Rustic Harvest class. So right now I had 2 fall classes at once going on, which I think is great because people are wanting to get their stuff done. before any, before like craziness happens. Because hopefully everybody can get together and eat and just have a ball this year, right? So you want to get all of your stuff completed and ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and start to cut things out. So this little piece is 2 by 2. We're going to put our little sprigs there. We're going to take our sentiment, just like we did, and I'm going to line that up, making sure the F is in the picture and getting that in the center. Piece of washi tape, perfect. We're going to get our strip right here, and we're going to start to cut these little guys out. So here's our wheat, here's our little shoot. That's cute. Get another piece of tape right here. I think that one's going to sit there. We'll hope for the best, right? Yeah, there it went. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I love with the big machine is that you can really send a ton through, or most of your project could go through almost all at one time. And I don't know, like sometimes if I'm just in here creating, I'm using the little one a lot because I'm just like doing one thing at a time. And, I do something, I'm like, yeah, I like that. No, I don't, that kind of thing. So I'll put all those up there. And we'll get this guy out. Easy peasy, peeling that off. We'll throw that away. And there's that. We've used every single die in this bundle and every single stamp. That's one of my main goals whenever I do a class, and too, when I look at something to do a class, I'm like, okay, am I going to be able to use everything? I think it's important for you guys to see me use everything, just so that you know how you can use it. Sometimes, and sometimes I've bought things before and I've used one thing out of it and I haven't used the rest of it because I didn't know how to use it, or I wasn't shown like different things on how to use it. So I kind of feel as a demonstrator, it's my job to use everything in there to show you guys, even if we just use it once, because you might have you use it one time, you might have 5 or 6 ideas on how to do something, which I think is wonderful. So I just need one more of these little guys. Cut, no big deal. And this wheat right here. Right there, beautiful. Oh, I love that in the old olive on the crushed curry. I didn't think that would look that good, but it does. I'm going to put this little guy right here. And I'm just going to run that through real quick, back and forth, just because it was on the end. All right, look at that. So that's how you use this piece of paper that comes in your kit. All right, now let's move this aside. This back where it belongs. Over on my, now TV stand, right? Okay, let's bring that base in. And some dimensionals and some Tombow. And let's see. What did I do here? I have to see what I did. Okay. Okay, so first I'm going to put this one down here. And I'm going to put this down with Tombow. Now, if you like dimensionals or glue dots, you can use those. But we have dimension here, and we are going to use a little bit more dimension. Now, this is something that can come off of the background there, because, it's within the parameter of the card. Now we're going to place the other one that was done tone on tone, crushed curry on crushed curry. And I want this one flat too. Okay. And I'm going to bring this one, maybe cross it over there and have it kind of stuck out to the side a little bit there. Okay, now I want to take my sentiment, and I want to place this right about in here. But now, you know on the other card how we had the dimensionals out to the edge. Here we can't because we have all of this going on in here. I actually want to replace that up a little bit, okay? Just like that, okay? And so I'm going to put two long ones right here off of that banner on the outside, inside the score lines here, okay? Because I want to stay on this, okay? So again, I'm just going to cut two of these. Oh, I might already had one cut. There's two. Good. A lot of times when I open the package, I'll take the first one out, you know, the sheet out, and I just cut them all around the edges because I know I'm going to use them. You know you always need them in these little, kind of little places, right? So I want to make sure that it doesn't show. So I'm putting it on just a little bit of an angle, okay? And I'm also putting the straight part to the inside. You'll see why. There's a method. There's a method to the madness. Okay. And now here, straight part, little bit of an angle. Okay, just like that. Beautiful. Great. Now, see these tails right here are going to hang off. And then you'll have dimension, and it also cleans up all of that junction in there, okay? Get that right there. Beautiful. Okay, now what we're going to do, these little grasses, they really intrigued me. And I know on this card I have them like coming up. I want to take a look at these. Wait a minute. I have a dimensional that's giving me a problem here. It's sticking up. Let me cut that off. I'll get my old scissors to do that. Okay. Okay. All right, now. So on that card, I took my pieces here, and I did like a little one here, and then a big one here, and then like that. Like the wheat had grass around it. I love that. So I think that's pretty cool, right? So let's go ahead and apply that. Now this is where I love the take your pick tool, because see, you could just turn it over, add your glue, or you know, this like would have been something to put adhesive sheet on, and then just bring it back to where you had it and attach it. Just like that. This little guy right here, I actually want a mini dimensional on. Let's do that. Let's put a mini dimensional on him. Okay. And we'll put this one right here. And I'm going to kind of let it sit on my sentiment and overlap that little bit of grass. Okay. Now let's take a little piece of grass here. And again, just a little tombow. Whoop. A little tombow. I try to use the tools so that I don't bend my thumbs too much. I happen to be wearing them out, is what the doctor said. So, what are you going to do? That's why this is in a brace, right? How funny. Okay, now we're going to take this one here, and I'm going to put a dimensional on it. And, you know, these things are like what make us sneeze. And I'm going to put that one right in there just to give it a little bit of something. And let's put a large one on the outside. We'll, you know, not be so symmetrical there. And we'll put the longer one on the outside this time here. And we'll get this guy popped up with a mini. A mini. I love putting cards together, don't you? I love even, you know, other people's ideas, and I love to put their cards together. I used to do a lot of classes, but financially that's kind of not happening right now, and I miss that because I'm a crafter. I like to take classes myself. but it is what it is. There! How cute is this card? I love that. Great. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So let's go ahead and look at our beautiful cards for this class. There's 2 there. Let's see. I've got these 2. Right? And then we have our first one. A beautiful array of 6 cards. I've had so much fun putting this class together today with you guys. I hope you go always to your happy space. Do happy crafting. Thank you again for ordering my class. I really appreciate it. And I cannot believe we're into fall. Right there. And we're just going to start it with this wonderful gathered wheat bundle. Thanks again, everyone. And always, every day, try to do just a little bit of happy crafting. Thanks again.